Hello everyone, I am Rajiv Saxena, Associate Professor, Smriti College of Pharmaceutical Education, Indore. In today's video lecture, we will discuss about the sterilization process by filtration, radiation and chemical method of sterilization. As in the last video, we have discussed about the sterilization by heat, in which we have discussed about the sterilization by using the dry heat and sterilization by using the moist heat. So we'll continue with the sterilization process, and in today's video lecture, we'll discuss about various other methods of sterilization. So coming with the first method of sterilization, that is the sterilization by filtration. Now filtration is considered to be a very common and economic method of sterilization, especially if we are talking about any pharmaceutical product like for example parentals and all, then definitely we can go for the process of sterilization by using the filtration method. Now for performing the filtration sterilization method, there is a requirement of an specialized machine or an equipment that has to be installed in such an area which is aseptic in condition. For example, if we are having an area which is highly contaminated in the environment, then what will happen? Once the sterilization process by filtration will be completed, then the contamination of the sterilized material will be very easy. So we have to use this specialized machine or equipment in such an area which is free from any contamination. Now, the basic device which is used for the sterilization by filtration is arranged in such a way that it is having two different compartments. As you can see in this diagram, this is the compartment number 1, in which whatever the material that we have to sterilize is poured, and the compartment number 2 is basically the recovery compartment, in which the material which after sterilization can easily be recovered. Now, between these two compartments, that is the compartment number 1 and compartment number 2, there is one membrane filter assembly is available. We have to put the membrane filter in between the compartment number 1 and compartment number 2, so that these membrane filters are having such an arrangement or such a pore size that does not permit the entry of any microorganism or entry of any bacteria. So, as we know that the size of the bacteria generally ranges from 0.75 to 4 micrometers in diameter. So the membrane filters that we are going to arrange between these two compartments will definitely have the lesser pore size. So generally 0.45 microns, 0.22 microns, these type of the membrane filters are generally used for the sterilization purpose. The compartment number 2 is actually attached with the vacuum line also. So once we go for the start of the procedure, what we have to do, whatever the material that we have to sterilize is generally put in the compartment number 1, and then one cap is also provided with the assembly. After pouring the material that has to be sterilized, we have to put on the cap. Once we arrange the assembly and once we pour the material that has to be sterilized, then what we have to do, we have to switch on the vacuum line. So because of this vacuum pressure, the liquid, the substance that has to be sterilized easily drag down, and when it is dragging down in the compartment number 2, where we are actually recovering the sterilized material, it has to pass with the membrane filter. But this membrane filter does not allow the passage of the microorganism. So the substance that we get in the compartment number 2 is considered to be sterilized, because we know that what is the definition of the sterilization? It is the process of complete removal of any kind of the microorganism. So whatever the microorganism that may be available in the material that we are going to sterilize is actually withheld at the membrane filter, and the substance we are collecting downside is actually free from any microorganism. So this filtration process of sterilization is considered as the mechanical method of removing the microorganism. Now coming to the next method of sterilization, that is sterilization by radiation. Sterilization by radiation is also a very common method. Now we can also take an example from our home. It is generally said in our home, like if we have to go for de-germing any beddings or any food articles, then generally in our homes also we used to keep this material under the exposure of the sunlight. And we used to say that because of the exposure to the sunlight, we can reduce the count of the microorganism and we can easily go for removing the germs. So the thing is, like, these radiations is also having the power to kill the microorganism. So based on that experience, various categories of the radiations are used in any pharmaceutical industry, and these radiations are actually divided into two categories. Number one is a ionizing radiation and number two is a non-ionizing radiation. The ionizing radiation generally includes X-rays, gamma rays, high electron beams, etc. Now, the basic mechanism by which this ionizing radiation work is actually, we know that inside, if we are talking about a bacteria, we know that bacteria consists of the cytoplasm, and cytoplasm basically consists of the major proportion of water. So once your bacteria will be exposed to this ionizing radiation, what will happen? The ionization of the water will take place, and because of the ionization of water, it will generate the hydrogen ions and also the hydroxyl molecule. Now these hydroxyl molecules are generally highly reactive. So these hydroxyl ions react with the DNA and thus making the dysfunctioning of the DNA, and further it kills the cell, because we know that for the survival of any cell, DNA is a genetic material and it has to be intact. But because of the formation, because of the ionization of the water and formation of a highly reactive hydroxyl ions, these hydroxyl ions reacts with the DNA and thus making it dysfunction. Now, similarly, if we talk about the non-ionizing radiation also, like for example, UV radiation. UV is basically one of the best example of the non-ionizing radiation. Now, the mechanism by which the ultraviolet radiation kills the microorganism is somewhat different as that of the killing by the ionizing radiation. Now we know that the bacteria again composed of a DNA, it is having a DNA as a genetic material, and we also know that the DNA consists of various nitrogenous bases. Nitrogenous bases are adenine, guanine, thymine and cytosine, and we know that the adenine always pairs with the thymine. This is the arrangement of the DNA inside a bacteria. But because of the exposure to this non-ionizing radiation, what will happen? The thymine which is available in the DNA reacts with each other and result in the formation of the thymine dimer. Actually, what has to be done? The thymine is actually binded with the adenine nitrogenous base. But because of the exposure to the ultraviolet radiation, the formation of the thymine dimer takes place. And because of this thymine dimer, what will happen? Again, the integrity of the DNA will be lost and the DNA will no further will be active, and thus it damages or kills the cell. So this is the way by which this ionizing and non-ionizing radiation kills the microorganism or kills the bacteria. So if whatever the material, for example, if you are talking about any pharmaceutical substance, and if for example it is not stable to the heat, then we cannot go for the sterilization by heat, because in the last video we have discussed that many pharmaceutical products can be sterilized by using the heat exposure. But if your drug, if the material that has to be sterilized is not stable to the heat, then definitely we cannot go for either the moist heat or we cannot even use the dry heat. And again, if we are talking about the mechanical, that is the filtration method, then as you can see in this diagram, that for the filtration, the material should be available in the form of the liquid. But if your pharmaceutical preparation is not liquid in nature, the consistency is not liquid, then we cannot even use the filtration method of sterilization. So if the material is not stable to the heat and the consistency of the material is not liquid in nature, then the best option that is next suitable for the sterilization of that pharmaceutical material is either by the use of the radiation in the form of the ionizing radiation or in the form of the non-ionizing radiation. Now, coming to the next method of sterilization, that is the chemical method of sterilization. Chemical method is again a very common method which is followed in the pharmaceutical industries, and even if we are talking about the sterilization, especially in the hospitals or any area which is contaminated because of any microorganism, infectious microorganism, then definitely we can say that the chemical method of sterilization is very common. Like if we are talking about the filtration or by the heat sterilization or by the sterilization by radiation, then we can go for the sterilization of some substance or the material. But for example, if I have to sterilize a room, for example, I have to sterilize a specialized ward which is available in the hospital like burn ward, then in that case either the filtration cannot work, and if you are talking about the heat sterilization, that can also not work. In that case, the chemical method of sterilization can be considered as one of the best method of sterilization. And in case of the chemical method, generally the sterilization gases are actually used. The gases which is having the power to sterilize is actually used. And most commonly, we can go for the use of the ethylene oxide, we can go for the use of BPL, that is beta propionolactone, and we can also go for the use of the formaldehyde. These are the gases which is having the power to kill the microorganism and thus making the area sterilized. Now coming to the ethylene oxide. Ethylene oxide is considered to be highly inflammable. So we cannot use the pure ethylene oxide as such, but rather we have to go for mixing the ethylene oxide with some inert gases like carbon dioxide or fluorinated hydrocarbon. Now, the time of exposure of ethylene oxide which is necessary for the sterilization is around 6 to 24 hours. It means we have to go for the exposure of the substance or the material or the area for around 6 to 24 hours if we have to achieve the sterilization. Now, if we talk about the penetration power of the ethylene oxide, then what we will find that the penetration power of the ethylene oxide is very good if we are talking about the plastic or if we are talking about the paper boards. But the sterilization power of ethylene oxide is not that much, especially if we are talking about the liquids. So, if we have to go for the sterilization of any plastic equipment, if we have to go for sterilization of antibiotic powders, plastic bandages, hospital beddings, etc., then definitely ethylene oxide can be the better choice. Now, coming to the mode of action of ethylene oxide. Now, the alkylating power is actually the basic mechanism of ethylene oxide. It is observed that the ethylene oxide is having a very good alkylating power. So if we are talking about a bacteria or any microorganism, we know that in the biomolecular arrangement of these microorganisms, different categories of the functional groups are available. Like it is having the sulfhydryl group, imino group, carboxyl group, hydroxyl group. These type of functional groups are available in the biomolecular arrangement or biochemical arrangement of the microorganism. So the ethylene oxide generally causes the alkylation of these functional group. And because of the alkylation of this functional group, like for example, if these functional groups are available in the domain of protein, then what will happen? The protein will get denatured. If these molecules are available in the DNA, then definitely DNA will also become dysfunctional. So the biomolecular arrangement of the bacteria will be destroyed because of the alkylation by the ethylene oxide. Now, the another gas which can also be used is BPL, that is beta propionolactone. Now, if we compare the killing power of ethylene, if we compare the killing power of BPL with the ethylene oxide, then we can say that BPL is having 4,000 times more effective as compared to that of the ethylene oxide. But the negative point of the ethylene oxide is BPL is highly irritating in nature and it is also highly carcinogenic in nature. So the pharmaceutical uses of the BPL is limited, but especially if we have to go for the sterilization of any chamber or any room, then definitely we can go for the use of BPL. But for the pharmaceutical preparation, if we have to go for the sterilization of any parenteral or any antibiotics or vaccine, then we cannot go for the use of BPL. Now coming to the last most common gas chemical method that can be used for the sterilization is by the use of formaldehyde fumigation. Okay. Now the formaldehyde fumigation, it is also considered to be a very common method, especially if we are talking about the environment of the hospital. If we have to go for the sterilization of any hospital beddings or any room, then definitely fumigation by formaldehyde is very commonly used. But again, if we are talking about the pharmaceutical industry, then it is found that formaldehyde is again a little bit irritating in nature, and also the penetration power, if we compare it with ethylene oxide, is somewhat limited. So especially in the pharmaceutical preparation, in some areas definitely we can go for the use of formaldehyde, but not in every aspect. But again, if we compare these gases, then definitely we will find that at some area the ethylene oxide is very commonly used, in some areas BPL is used, and in some area formaldehyde is used. So coming to the summary of today's video lecture. So in today's lecture we have discussed about various other method of sterilization, because in the last video we have already covered the sterilization by heat. So today we have covered the mechanical method of sterilization, that is by filtration method. Then we have covered the sterilization by using the radiation, that is by the use of ionizing radiation and non-ionizing radiation. And we have also covered the chemical method of sterilization by using different gases, especially ethylene oxide, BPL, that is beta propionolactone, and formaldehyde. Thank you.